Greetings, I am Lies, and I use she, her.
And I am Scandal, and I use they, them.
And let's play a game together!
Woo! Yeah!
Alrighty, so we have arrived back at the magic shop. We have accused Asra of trying to be a cool parent that nonetheless does, shortcuts and passes them off as his own.
Yes!
And we are gonna see what happens with Nadia, who's very impressed by the rareness of our stuff. He certainly spoils you, doesn't he? I can name at least a dozen rare compounds in your front room alone.
Do you know much about them?
Enough only to recognize their worth. I am mostly interested in the monetary side of things.
Or what they do, yes?
I shall leave the herbalism to the experts. To me, that actually speaks of being knowledgeable of trade, like
Yes.
spice trade, resource trade, basically the, import-export kind of thing. Going, do I know what they do? No, but I know what they cost by either the pound, the crate, the boatload, because
Right.
I trade for them.
Which is super cool.
I know. I kind of love that. Going, I recognize their worth, which one can say, you know what, all I am is valuable things are me, or it can also suggest, as a ruler, I know what trade values are.
Yes.
Which is kind of cool.
Even if I don't understand exactly what everything is used for, you do recognize what they are, and you go, oh, I know what that is, I know how much that tends to run for.
I don't need to know that you're using gold for circuit boards, I just need to know what it costs per ounce.
Right? A sudden chill grips me, cold creeping up the back of my neck, insistently. Even the warmth of the home can shake the ice from my bones.
Why? You're shivering like a leaf, I would say.
For you,
I
tentatively.
feel like there'd be this pause, not like a, oh my, you're shivering like a leaf. With Corazon's appearance and their presence, I think it would be like a, my, you're shivering like a, and then you pause because your brain comes up with leaf, and then it's kind of funny to compare them to that.
You gotta go.
That's what I get. I'll finish my statement anyways, but Hey, why, you're shivering like a leaf. Come here. We should get you warmed up. I imagine she is also cold and should be wet and also wearing less, thick garments than Corazon, so... Also, come here to the glass counter.
Please, right here, together.
Join me on this
the glass
countertop.
Let her take care of me, or you're shivering too. That would be good. You're shivering too.
I think Corazon would throw it right back at her.
You're shivering too. We were both out on the open sea in that little rowboat. Also, we did both, according to the text,
wade into the water.
Wade.
Then drag ourselves out of the water into the boat. You're both wet.
Nadia can't have remained unaffected.
Or dry. You're both damp, okay?
Right?
So, I am. I suppose we both ought to warm up. Blushing. I didn't get to keep you on that island, but now I have you in your shop, so... It's still summer, yet unusually cold. Were it not for the masquerade, I might retire with you to the summer palace. I might just bundle you up and take you with me. I might just...
Away.
Relocate you to my private summer palace.
Sure, why not? Yes?
If it weren't for this matter of my dead husband, I'm sorry. He's so inconvenient even when he's dead. I'm sure you'd find it pleasing. You could have an entire wing to yourself if you desired. Or if you didn't, you could share one with me and everything else with me, if that was your desire.
We're gonna go over. My cheeks flush. No. As I lead her, unless from exerting from effort and being cold, and then being everything
Rosy
kind of
cheeks,
hurts.
I'm cold, I'm working
and
hard.
It's kind of probably limp starting to show up a little bit more extensively. I'm really kind of
stiff
tired.
and cold, yes.
Yeah, and as I lead her up the stairs into the living space. The shop is certainly no summer palace. The second floor isn't very big, but Asra and I have managed to make a comfortable living space.
Until he ran away because he was terrified of me. I love the idea that in this route, Asra leaves all the time because basically he's afraid of this child that he's unleashed upon the world.
Yeah, it's his fault now in this case. There's an overstuffed bed, bookshelves piled high with clutter, and a variety of knickknacks from Asra's travels.
He keeps coming in here and messing up my orderly space.
Dang it! He do all the things!
Him! Hello! I brought you things! Looks at him scathingly, and I'm dumping them all right here. And you're like,
this is the Asra corner. Corazon, if it's contained there, I'll get to it later.
It's fine. Just leave it over there. Uh-huh. This is quite cozy, standing right next to you.
I'll make us some tea. I collect a few stray cups piled behind a book titled 101 Ways to Cook a Skink, and began rinsing them out. That seems very particular for this day and age, but that's okay.
Also going piled behind a book. So, like...
We're saying we're messy.
We're saying we're real cluttery. Why would they tell us that now? Why would they demand that we have to be cluttery?
It's possible that was there, and Corazon put the book on it themselves because they have been drinking a lot of tea while they keep sewing their clothing and working through their magic on their own.
It's true.
So
things can get, like,
possible.
basically crowded, essentially. Especially when you have that much wardrobe.
Right? Nadia looks around the room with interest, no judgment in her gaze. It feels comfortable having her here. I would show her some of my more elaborate pieces, but I'm a little tired.
It's not the time.
She settles down on the single bed, raising an eyebrow as she glances back at me.
I'm kind of interested in the fact that nobody is, like, expecting her to check in or anything, because I get the whole, your ruler, your royalty turning into Jasmine and sneaking out of the palace kind of thing. Like, I get that. But I feel like by the time it hits nightfall and she hasn't come back, there would be a problem.
Yeah, like, we've mentioned it before, though, where it's like, it would be strange for her to do some of the things that she's done and nobody care. Like, I found it to be very unusual even before, where Nerd, in that particular route, was supposed to come back and then literally nobody cared.
Didn't for 2 days, and then no one noticed.
Yeah.
And Pasha was crushed when it was pointed out that she didn't notice.
Yeah, it's fine.
But I find it very interesting, and I wonder if it's supposed to, and this might just be assuming that they're trying to make all of this connected when they're not necessarily, but I wonder if it's supposed to indicate that basically no one in the palace is invested in her presence there, and they basically just see her as a figurehead and not a functioning piece of like the politics. And so it doesn't matter if she appears or disappears or is there or not.
I feel like they would very much want to control her, because knowing where she was before was very useful. You're asleep on a bed? Fantastic. We know exactly
we can do whatever we want.
And now that you're up and running around, that caused a lot of people to actually become very nervous. But this line is actually hilarious, because I'm going, are we actually going to deal with the fact of, like, what the shop actually is?
I was just saying, is she commenting? Okay, all I can see from this now that I've read it is that she's commenting
you haven't read it out loud yet.
No, now that I've read it in my own head.
Oh, okay.
Is this experience of going, she's accusing you of sharing a bed.
She is.
A single bed. You and your master live together. Strokes the very small bed. Yes?
It's not like that.
He sleeps on the floor.
He wishes.
He hangs a hammock when he's here.
He hopes. A hammock would be cute. Everyone always assumes. Amusement dances on Nadia's face. Laughter in her eyes. As if Asra would ever be that ballsy.
Okay, hold on a second. Everyone always assumes. So for 3 years, while he's been raising a child in an adult body, they assume that he basically has a developmentally delayed lover? That sounds wild. Possibly. And then they've basically gotten more and more together. And then, like, if people are engaging and coming to the shop regularly, you not being able to say words and then not being able to, do things and then slowly gaining your adult skills and stuff. And then them just going, we just assume that you're together. Like, did he never explain to anyone? Was he trying to keep it a secret that he was raising you, kind of thing? Or have you just started noticing this now that you're more of a mature person?
So, like I pointed out, I literally don't understand why they said that we've never been to the shopping district before. I think I remember the shopping district. Oh, this is not the shopping district that I seem to remember, whatever it was. Like, there is a distinct, like, thing of, has your, like, apprentice, basically, the one that they wrote, have they just been isolated this whole time with just Asra?
Baby gates on everything.
Oh, God.
They don't get to leave the house.
Laughter in her eyes. It warms me more than the mugs in my hands as I settle next to her on the bed. I heated them.
Instantly.
Here.
I just what I did was I picked up the mugs, I put in basically like loose leaf tea and then filled them with water and heated them myself.
Yes.
Like I didn't even bother with the stove.
I have an endless pitcher.
It's fine. Thank you, Corazon. Lapsang Suchong. How nostalgic.
Lapsang Suchong sounds like it's
Chinese.
Chinese.
Sounds like a Chinese tea.
It does.
I Wonder why. Well, if you haven't had it in all of the previous of your life that you do remember, sometime in the 3 years that you don't remember, it must have existed.
Clearly.
Honestly, though, she doesn't look super young, and I know they have their canonical ages released, but I don't know what they are.
Yeah.
Because it's not in the game.
I also...
It's out there in the ethosphere, but I was like, I find it interesting that she doesn't, like, hearken or reckon anything to other parts of her life, other than, like, the eels that come from my homeland. Like, I would like I feel like more and more we're just supposed to go, she's fixated on her lost memory and nothing else. And that's kind of sad. It makes her less of a complete person, but also suggests a deeper trauma, that she just cannot think about or focus on anything else unless it's right in front of her. She's really just like, I have lost memory and it consumes me.
Right. We drink in silence as Nadia continues looking around the room, gaze never settling on anything for long.
That sounds a little nervous.
There seems to be a restless energy in her.
Yeah.
Her shoulders are tense, fingers too tight around the cup. My hands are still cold, barely able to hold the tea.
Which doesn't make sense.
A shiver shake. I catch a shiver shake.
A shiver shake Nadia's shoulders as well. A shiver, comma.
Okay, that sentence messes me up. I catch a shiver shaking Nadia's shoulders as well.
Or I catch a shiver shake Nadia's shoulders as well.
Because I think the shiver is supposed to be causing Nadia's shoulders.
I catch a shiver shake.
Like
it's a little creature on Nadia.
That doesn't work for me.
I remove it and toss it out the window.
Settle closer to her or leave her be.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, really?
Corazon would warm her up. Oh my god.
Of course.
Also, I find it amazing that we haven't offered to, like, change her clothes, demanded to change our clothes. If we're cold and we're wearing damp clothes, because I bet you with the sun down and in a tiny little boat and on a cold night, your clothes did not dry while you walked back here from wading into, the sea. Also, salt caking your clothing, what have you. I'm like, you guys should be changing. Honestly, you should be offering to do a sponge, like give her a sponge bath or something. Be like, I will heat up water in the little, basin and you can warm yourself.
Right. Well, we're going to have to pause for 2 seconds because I actually don't know where this scene ends. So we will be right back because guess what we're going to choose?
All right, so 2 things. 1, we do know that Corazon wants to be closer to Nadia, but 2, it doesn't seem like the solution they would do to get her warm.
Yes.
Like, for me, if you have a stove salamander, why not warm up the room? And also, again, that change the clothes, and also they offer you a blanket kind of thing. And so one of the things that my friend pointed out in reference to their character Corazon specifically, going, if Nadia's not flirting, if Nadia's not asking for it, Corazon isn't really going to make an assumptive physical romantic gesture. And so warming her by scooting closer to her doesn't really fit their personality, but they would want to get her warm.
Yes.
So the closest we can get is to choose sidle closer
to her. Yep, here we go. So we're going to go ahead and pick this.
So in our agreement with Nix Hydra, you shall now be entering cover-up art territory, and we're going to describe the shenanigans.
All right, so here we go. So, of course, Corazon gets close. That's what happens. So, we move on.
So, on the bed. Corazon is on the bed and has moved in as much moving in as can be with the squishing together.
Right, and then so as apparently then we touch, it actually startles the Countess, and she looks up from whatever she's thinking about, and she gazes at Corazon. Except in this case, because...
Oh my gosh, still think... Okay, they think even sitting, that your MC is shorter than your love interest here.
Oh,
and there's a specification that that Nadia has to specifically,
gaze at lower.
Gaze lower to see you.
Yes.
Tilt her head to be able to make eye contact.
Right, and then she just sort of gives us a little happy grin.
She just grins.
It's a little delighted.
So Corazon scoots over and boink, and then she's delighted.
And
inquires as to if Corazon is not warm yet.
Oh, no.
And then Corazon agrees that they are not warm yet.
And I disagree with the rest of this because this would not be Corazon being like, oh no, I'm sort of ashamed. Did I push too hard or am I doing something?
Corazon is confident and looks right back at Nadia.
Yeah, it's fine.
Then Nadia assesses that how improprietous for you to be cold. This is so unacceptable. It must be solved immediately.
And she
and then going, however would it be possible to solve this? It's a challenge. What
are the measures that I must take to figure this out?
And then Nadia proceeds to relieve
Lean
herself.
all the way down.
Hold on. She puts the we'll just say
Her mug.
the mug
Yeah.
onto on the ground of the room, and then also relieves Corazon of their mug.
Yep.
And
Now we hold
apparently
hands.
just keeps it. I assume she also puts Corazon's mug on the ground, but it didn't specify.
So she takes Corazon's fingers, takes
appendages,
and lifts and then raises them to her face, and then just exhales hot air. Because actually, if you were going to do the gesture that they suggest, that's actually a cold
It would be
thing.
cooling, actually. Yeah, they're not suggesting breathes on. They're suggesting, which would not make warm. Yeah, so anyway, she puts warm breath on Corazon's fingers while gripping them in her own. Yes. And then inquires, quite blushily, quite thoughtfully, while leaning in close, possibly putting Corazon's hand against, her warm bosom. Have you recovered? Is your situation improved?
How is that? Corazon is asserting, nope. Still chilly.
Hi, she is leaning in, has Corazon's fingers right next to her lips, has breathed upon them. Are you cozy yet, Corazon? Making direct eye contact. Nope. Not at all.
Still chilly.
And then Nadia's like, oh my, what a problem. We'll have to look into other methods.
Ooh, let's sort it out.
And then
she's like, an idea! I know exactly what to do.
I've got your solution.
I figured out the thing.
Oh dear. Then our good Countess divests herself of her foot coverings.
Yep.
And very thoughtfully, and very tidily arranges them on the floor, and then begins to remove more of her vestments.
And more of her sparkly vestments, really, more than
more
anything.
Of her decorations and her less cuddly bits, including, I imagine, her golden corset, which is not cuddly at all.
Right? So, and then in this case, Corazon does not inquire, really. It's like, I know what you're doing. Countess.
Yes, that's the one. The Countess in question, who is still gently removing things from herself, watches Corazon watching her, and then lets her hair down.
Even though it's already really solidly down, and I don't understand how much further down do you think it's going to go,
I was going to say, most of it's already down, but she takes down the last bit of it. It is very soft and very silky and very beautiful. And she sort of does some soft hair flipping to make herself look glorious.
La 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 la.
All right. After which she puts herself back on the sleeping.
She squeezes into the tiny twin bed and basically leans up, probably more like either against the wall, the decorative headpiece of said bed.
And just as
she hand pats the bed and goes, hello.
She's just like, come. I have taken off.
She becomes the Try Guys.
Come sit on my lap. Kind of thing.
Except
for near me. So she really does take off everything about her that couldn't be less than cuddly, and then scoots into your sleeping space and invites you to join.
And while I appreciate that this MC is a little nervous, Corazon is not, and just simply moves now to join her, because that's exactly what was going on. And then as there's this strange point of going, you know what? Despite everything and the sea that still is attached to her lower waist, she has such a marvelous smell.
I feel like Corazon, defining her as smelling fragrant and wonderful, which probably came from her letting the part of her hair down that she did, because usually
it's perfumed hair.
Perfumed hair, and then the scent will stay locked into any kind of tie-up that you do.
What if
it was
in her little hairpiece that actually she pulled out? Because some people actually
may have even scented herself again. I would say, but the fact that she is just draping her sea-brined clothing across our clean bed is inoffensive, and she smells great.
Yeah, she's fabulous.
She just is scented beautifully. Additionally,
the stuff that is not caked in salt and sea.
Corazon is now touching in a nondescribed way the fabric, the clothing that Nadia is wearing.
Yep.
And has described it as extremely pleasant to the touch.
But it's not as pleasant as Nadia's fingers that are flicking their way across Corazon's face.
Yes, that are caressing Corazon.
Yes.
All right, and Nadia
is doing a check-in again, going,
who is scooted next to Corazon in this very small bed,
how
needs
do you feel
to inquire if now perhaps you may be a bit warmer.
Yes.
Just sitting on top of blankets next to each other in a bed with less clothes on.
Right, a little bit more or less directed, because of course we're not really talking so much about, I think, being cold, is going, well...
Are you more comfy?
Is the rest of this working for you?
Because there is nothing in here that suggests that what she has done would make us any warmer at all. Because she's like we're barely in contact, except for some undescribed method at which Corazon is touching the fabric, the clothing she's wearing, and her just like her putting her fingers on their face.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
So in this case, it's either now we could press onwards, going,
oh no, shivery, like with the eels.
Shiver.
I'm so concerned about the eels still.
Right? Or you just go,
so good.
We're great, we're fine. It's actually exactly how I wanted it.
I feel like Corazon would be like, no, I suffer. The chill is deep within me. Whatever can be done.
Oh no, I was kind of going more towards that particular choice, so that's the one we're going to go with.
So yes, Corazon asserts that they have the chills.
The chills still linger around these poor bones of mine.
Oh, and Nadia, oh no, how terrible. It's just awful. I wonder if perhaps a medical professional would be required to correct this profound shiveriness.
Because it sounds so intense. It's not letting up. Oh my.
Yes, it sounds really, I love this. It just basically feels like a mirror of the eel scene.
Yes.
It really does. It's very cute. Going should I get professionals? Should I take measures? Should I do something much more extreme to correct this condition you are experiencing?
And the poor MC, not Corazon, is freaking out, going, hang on, don't run off with it.
But Corazon is very much just grinning, I think, at the doting and at the callback to an inside joke.
Yes.
I think Corazon would be very entertained by the repeat of what is now affirmed to be an inside joke.
Right.
And then our dear Countess just, maybe this length of measures are not necessary. Just me speaking about your experience, has it improved you?
Oh, are you much improved now?
Has it warmed you? Yes. Are you better? Then there's giggling.
She giggles at us, you know, and it seems to basically warm the poor MC.
The cockles of their heart.
Yes,
which
are very dark, on course.
And then, Nadia then pulls back a little bit from this warm, laughing exchange, which has just heated both of you through and through.
And she asserts
that she must not be very interesting, or
that her own experience before this, her whole basically her growing up and all the times
just
that
all
she's had
her experiences
without you have been so boring.
That basically her entire experience compared to being with you is just completely uninteresting and not exciting.
Very lacking.
Yep, quite lacking. However, the art has not changed. So just for anyone who's wondering about her divesting everything.
There's no premium art in here.
Not in this one, not
except
so far.
Other than what we've done.
And then she asserts that while things didn't go exactly as she planned today,
she enjoyed herself.
Forgetting that bit, she did enjoy herself quite a bit with you. Corazon.
And she does continue to assert that it's actually been some of the greatest entertainment that she's experienced since she
since she became awake again.
Since she slipped out of her coma.
Yes, since she returned from the land of the snooze.
And then
anyway, and that her memory had failed her as to what this level of enjoyment was even what it was as an experience.
Right.
And she wonders if any level of like excitement and enjoyment and engagement
or
delight such as this ever happened
with her
previous husband.
Yes.
Her late husband. Then thinking on that, there is a deep breathing out, and she just kind of dismisses the thought. And then,
with a gesture of her head.
And it also suggests again that we are so short that even sitting next to her, while you are both shoulder to shoulder, basically, she has to come way down and bend herself quite thoroughly to be able to reach the side of your head to be able to place her lips upon it.
Yep, right above your brow.
Corazon is not that short at all, and she can just turn her face and be able to place her lips upon them. Yes,
but it's
happens. The gesture happens, but she does not. She does not have to fold herself in half to be able to get to you.
Drawn out smooching of the lips upon the head.
It is. There's the whole, like, it's a lot like the forehead kiss that happens in the anime.
Right.
But very, very cute.
Right.
All right. Then.
Oh, and then I guess in this case, as she speaks, she has much hotter breath.
She just speaks against, like, right against Corazon's face.
Yep, as it happens. And apparently this MC is a little bit like, woo, but Corazon would just be like, seems about right.
I imagine it would be arousing for Corazon, but not like overwhelming.
Oh, yeah, not at all.
Yeah, like exactly. The MC, though, seems like, I die, slowly, quickly. Where? You have folded yourself in half to put your lips upon me. I am tiny and like, wow. I don't know why they wrote this MC to be so small, because if you're both sitting next to each other, having to like nearly bend your seated self in half to be able to reach the person next to you.
I feel like you're going a little bit far with that. I appreciate your theatrics, but I think
she's
that's too
much. She's not just like, she bends though.
You said lean, and it said just lean. You're fine.
It's still a lot anyway. I'm just like, it sounds short. All right, then Nadia.
I mean, I believe that they totally intended to write a incredibly short main character based off of everything we've run into. It's just
amazing.
sort of frustrating.
Anyway, so Nadia says that,
you know
when things have concluded, like all the things that I hired you for
sorted,
and that we're involved with, once this is all basically all my ducks are in a row, it would be very desirable to spend more enjoyable time with you, Corazon.
Yes.
And
she thinks
she's grateful.
Yes.
She expresses her gratitude really, like, profoundly and very earnestly, but in, like, a genuine way.
Right.
And then also...
she compares you to basically a very polished gem,
an
basically.
important rock, a lovely, shiny rock.
One that actually you don't find very, commonly. In fact, it's more than uncommon. It might be
positively unique.
All
right. And then lets you know that, while she's only sort of suggested that maybe you can hang out after this, that it is her full-on plan to have acquired you and never release that acquisition. However, you are a permanent fixture in her life.
However, she does also seem to make a slight amendment of going as long as you're okay with it.
Yes, and there's this, I plan to have installed you at my side, but if you're good with that.
Right.
And
apparently this MC is like, oh, whoa, you want to do what? But Corazon is fine.
And Corazon, then,
is just basically, they're going to smile and sort of relax back with Nadia and be pleased about it, because of course, and relax with her.
What a lovely arrangement. Sounds good to me.
Right, and then moving on, so of course, because we're still going off with the other MC being incredibly awkward, Corazon feels fine already with Nadia being around, so it's okay, and is
very, very chill.
Assertions of, when Nadia is nearby, I feel the dokies.
I feel happy. I feel soothed. I feel at ease. There's the MC just going off about how Nadia's presence is, as they say in anime, soothing.
Right, and also, too, now here we've moved on to more assertions of, like, wow, if anything came out of my mouth or popped in my head, and if I told Nadia, I know she would just be wrapped with attention. She would be listening to me, and it would be wild. It would happen.
Yeah, so Corazon is aware that Nadia is interested. The MC seems to be completely surprised at all times that Nadia is interested.
Right.
Corazon has matured to the point of thinking themselves as an adult, and they know their own mind and their own decisions, and they're like, yes, if I regaled her with my share, she would be into it.
Right, and then here's just a sort of...
a pause.
A pause.
And a sudden realization.
Another realization of... oh my god, it's royalty! In this particular little... a place where I like to lay down.
Where I sleep.
Yodeling, like, whoa! So, like, very firmly directing me or informing me that, you know what? She would like to tie herself up with me.
She would like to
Basically.
to be bound to you forever.
Or,
and
well, it's more like
potentially-
she wants to bind you more to her
right,
with
that
this
one,
particular
that
language.
one. And there is really this level of it. To me, I think Corazon would be very amused of going, if I described this situation to anyone, it would be, yes, last night our ruler extraordinaire was laying in my, tiny comfy sleeping space and professing to me that I should belong to her here henceforth.
It was fantastic.
It was amazing. And
Nadia still talking to the regular main character.
Nadia looking at Corazon and going, you look fabulous. I love it, the way you look when you think. Your face, it's dramatic and wonderful. And then...
Oh.
I think Corazon could very much assert the, sort of playfully of, I'm not something for you to own. Because there's one here that is very much like, yes, please, mommy, I would love you to own me. And the other option is, I am not an animal that is also an object for you to care for.
I'm torn.
And one of them could, I'm trying to figure out how the game would interpret them, because one of them, you could basically be, Corazon could be like, yes, I am very into you, therefore I agree to this arrangement. I love the idea that you desire to, basically have me by your side. Yes, sounds good. Except for, it sounds like in here, instead of that you're mostly basically going, yes, take care of me.
Right.
And the other one asserting, I am not, something you would buy at, in the red market for you to take home on a leash. Sounds like that Corazon would say it playfully, but with an assertion of, you don't own me. I'm not just one of your many toys. You don't own me. But I'll definitely stay with you and not the boys.
So, I think honestly Corazon would be fine with going with the whole I'm willing to be owned by you, but basically sort in that
but as a
way.
partnership kind of thing. Yes. Go ahead, keep me. See what you think.
Fine.
All right, here we go. Going to do it. So Corazon is like, oh yeah, you can have me.
It's fine.
It's fine.
I thought that's what this was about, actually, is part of the problem.
Why
are you asking?
I thought you were trying to acquire me, and I told you, I am acquired already.
We're a few steps beyond this, aren't we?
Yes, I'm pretty sure we've moved beyond.
Are you worthy of this, or aren't you?
And she's just like, surprise, and offers, if she should, in fact.
Actually, it just sounds like an assertion, going, okay, I'll do that thing.
Right. Okay, then absolutely, yes. You say that I can have you, I will do so. Then she grins again and proceeds to stroke Corazon's leg. That whole thing of running your hand up someone's leg. And she wants to put down some guidelines.
She does.
And then wonders if, in fact, Corazon is very good at following directions. And if they pay close attention. And she's very interested in these two things. And then she just blushes and she just kind of playfully is like, if should there be a case where I tell you to ask earnestly and desperately, would you do so? And Nadia asserts that if in fact you were insistently pleading for something from her because she told you to, that you would absolutely receive as much as you could handle.
Yes.
It is very much down the lines of what you are thinking.
It's like, woo.
She's like, I will get out the leash and then you will be a happy person. So she suggests. And then she also suggests that perhaps if you enjoy it too much, she might not do that.
Except that that's not true. So what that actually line was going like saying that you will have everything your heart desires. Unless, basically, that's the game. That you don't have everything you desire.
Unless you want to be left wanting more. Okay, that makes sense. All right, you'll have all the cream you can you can consume.
Yes.
Unless you don't want to. All right, interesting.
Yes, all right, and we are back and out of the scene because this is back to Asra, even though, yes, I know Asra is supposed to be on the screen when you don't pick the premium option, but screw it, this is the same line.
I just say it is, so,
home sweet home. Where's that son? Fuck. Hello, home sweet home. Where's that sandwich I left on the counter? Asra's white fluffy head appears above from the stairs. Now I'm gonna fucking shit, I didn't realize how close these were, and this is gonna mess me up really
You're
hard.
gonna be able to do it. I just pause between and put yourself in the like have postures for each of them. That's what helps me. So you'll have a corazon and then you'll have an Asra. You know.
Alright, Asra's fluffy white head appears from the stairs, pausing at the top as his gaze lands on our forms in the bed.
Also going corazon being like, you would be looking for food you left out. Asra, why are you such a slob?
You are so nasty.
I cleaned things up.
The corazon, I did not realize we had company over. Hello, my lady Countess, lovely to probably meet you.
My poor friend.
What?
Sorry.
It's pretty bad, it's okay.
It's okay.
I pull away quickly from Nadia. No, I don't. I just stay there. Not blushing at all. As I slowly decide, though, to get to my feet to show him some amount of respect. And also mostly for Nadia, because that is how you properly introduce the Countess, even if she's laying down.
Because she hasn't actually met Asra as far as we know.
Yes.
So there would be an experience of you go, the disaster is here. And then you reach over for your cane and you slide out of bed and you stand up and you greet, your master.
Your disaster master.
Yes, and then you look over at Nadia and you probably introduce
And you're
people.
properly introduced, but we're going to have to do the introductions
in the next one!
Hey, so thank you very much, everybody, for joining us. If you like what we do, please feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and also share our videos if you're having a good time with us. Please also feel free to go check out our Ko-Fi and our Patreon. We have some links in the description down below, and I have been Scandal.
And if you have an MC that doesn't quite fit the narrative, because we've seen some really cool ones on Tumblr and stuff that are a bit different than what seems the narrative is written, and you made other choices or found places where they didn't quite fit, we would love to hear about it.
It's true.
And in the meantime, I have been Liz.
And it was great playing with you. Bye!